in the mock scrimmage the other day. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. So they're going to come a couple days this week so that we get used to, talking with them and having dialogue and listening to the things that they say we're doing that we need to correct. And again, I think it's important for the players to see them and see that they're normal people just like anybody else. They're just doing a job, and so we've had good fortune bringing them into practice in the past.
That's part of your camp evaluation as well. I mean, players have to be able to get the play off before.
Yeah, if we can't get the play off, within the play clock, and we can't stay on side either offense or defensively, I mean, you can't play. So you have to put them in enough situations where there's hard count to see whether or not the offense is going to be able to sit in there and whether the defense is going to be disciplined enough to stay on side.
Chris, since your absence from the last time you were here, this team has had its share of problems in the penalty department. Do you expect that to change now that you're back here?
Well, I mean, again, it's one of the big indicators as to how successful you'll be. And so if you're a team that continually takes penalties and either gets behind the sticks or, gives up second and long situations and puts them in potentially second and fives and that type of thing, you're not going to be very successful. And so we've got to do a great job of being disciplined.
Is there a part of your mind that thinks there might be what might be the reason some teams run into penalty?
Yeah, you know what? We've been a highly penalized team from time to time. We are very aggressive. I mean, I know in Calgary we were very aggressive and we got flagged, a lot for tugging and stuff like that. But, we got a little bit better over the years, of learning how to play, man coverage without grabbing and tugging. And like I say, the offsides is something that you just have to put them in those situations prior to getting to the games, So we're working to try to make sure that we do everything in our power as coaches to create those situations so that we can correct it before we get into the games.
There's a flip side of that too. You don't want them too tame out there, right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean you have to have them. They have to be wound up pretty tight, in order to ever be a good football player. I mean, I never have met a football player that's not pretty wound up, in some way or another, So especially on the defensive and special team side.
Chris, what can you tell us about Colin Kelly? Obviously, a guy who's had to rehab from a pretty tough surgery last year.
Yeah, he's done a good job of rehabbing, and he's done a nice job out here for us so far. He's a very cerebral player. He's got good size, so he needs to work on being a little more physical from time to time, but he knows that, and he's a pro.
What did you observe from your team today? I mean, this is basically day one. There's a game Friday. It's the first time you've had that scenario in camp. What did you notice about your guys today?
Well, we were a step slow, it seemed like today. We seemed a little bit methodical, like they were kind of not going through the motions, but at the same time weren't playing at top speed. So, again, we're going to keep driving them. We've got another 100 plays tomorrow, and I fully intend on doing the full amount so that we can get our evaluations we need.
Is there any Winnipeg prep this week, or is it all about making sure you guys look after yourselves going into this game? I know there's obviously no tape and stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably take a peek at it, from last year's film and just try to show them some formational stuff and the motions and some of the basic stuff. But we're not going to sit there and game plan because, again, what you don't want to do is make them think too much. You go out there and you try to make them think and try to run too complex of a scheme. It's tough for the young guys to get evaluated because they'll just play slow.
It's all about evaluation, I know, in the preseason games.
Yep.
But when it's kicked off, you're on the sidelines. How tough is it to turn that that will to win off and make sure you do the things you need to do to win?
Well, I ain't never went to a game. I'm just going to, and the preseason's no different. We're not going over to Winnipeg to just say it's okay to lose the game. But at the same time, we have to do what we need to do to get prepared to evaluate and come out of because you don't get many of them. So the games that you get, you have to take advantage of so that you get your proper evaluations done. All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Chris.